Hi, my name is John Paulraj, and on this video, we are going to continue to solve that question paper. Let me see if I can get this nice and straight. This is paper 1 time zone 1, May 2025 of IB applications and interpretations. Yeah! I'm glad I got that right, but I don't know. Maybe that excitement seemed a little fake, but I'm quite happy that it came through well. Fine, let's just jump in straight off. Question number 2, all right? This is part 2, as I said before. If you have missed out on part 1, please make sure you go and check that out, okay? I'll drop in a comment, a link somewhere, wherever it comes up. A dolphin jumps out of water. The path of the jump can be modeled by a quadratic function using the following variables. Now, this is one of the tips that I want to offer. Whatever variables that are mentioned, it's not always x and y. So, even in differential equations, when it comes to that, we'll think about it, we'll talk about it. Okay, so it may say dy by dx in our textbooks, and most commonly we use dy by dx, but in the context of the question is what you're supposed to answer. So if it's t dx by dt, sometimes dp by dt. So please pay attention to the question. And if you're an HL student, of course, these things matter, especially in the paper 3. Not that it doesn't matter in paper 1. Okay, so follow the variables as given in the question. So it's d is the horizontal distance from the point where the dolphin leaves the water. So that's the dolphin. Okay, so d is the horizontal distance. So that means a horizontal distance. This is d, as they have labeled that. No longer the x-axis, d, all right? H is the height of the dolphin above the surface of the water. So the axis which we often refer to as the y-axis is represented as h, all right? All distances are measured in meters from the point where the dolphin leaves the water. Okay. On a particular jump, the dolphin first reaches a height of 5.1 meters above the surface of the water when the horizontal distance is 3 meters, and again when the horizontal distance is 8.5 meters. The point that IB is trying to test you in this particular question is if you recognize and remember that the quadratic is a symmetric. It's symmetric about the axis of symmetry. It's got an axis of symmetry about its vertex. So if that's the maximum height, the maximum height is where you attain the axis of symmetry. The vertex is where you attain the maximum height. So it's symmetric about that point. So if you were to draw a line, a horizontal line somewhere, okay, you know that that line is going to meet that quadratic at 2 points, 2 distinct points, and something about these 2 points. Okay, so let's just mark this as 5.1 because they have said that it first reaches a height of 5 meters first at 3. So that means that value out here is 3 meters. Okay, first it jumps at first arrives at that point, where it's 5.1 meters above the ground at 3 meters, and then again, the same horizontal distance is attained at 8.5. So you can mark that point at 8.5. Right? So that's what I meant by symmetry. The quadratic, curve is symmetric about the vertex, and if it's symmetric, you know what? These 2 points, they're equidistant. They're equidistant from here. That's the idea of symmetry, right? So if the question, it says write down the equation of the axis of symmetry of the quadratic function. Equation of the axis of symmetry. Now, normally, I'm not really sure about the formula booklet, but I think you're aware that the equation of the axis of symmetry is negative BO2A, right? Now, we don't have all of that, and by the way, this is in terms of x. Remember, if you were to write this, you got to write this in terms of d, right? Now, the quadratic, you're aware, is ax square plus a bx plus a c. In that context, you got to figure out what that b and a is. But we don't need that to do that here because, we know that this line, this vertical line that you have here, d is equal to is actually the axis of symmetry, and that axis of symmetry also goes through that midpoint of 3 and 8.5, right? It goes to the midpoint 5, which means no matter what the coordinates of the vertex are here, the maximum height, the x coordinate, the d coordinate, okay, or the independent variable is going to be the midpoint of 3 and 8.5. How do you find that? The midpoint of 3 and 8.5, that's basically just 3 plus 8.5 over 2, and regardless of what the maximum height is, let me just write it as hm, all right? That's going to be the vertex. So which means, the axis of symmetry is simply d equals 3, let me just write it down here, a, the answer to a. Hopefully we'll have space here. D, axis of symmetry, always get into the habit of writing in the context, writing your answers in the context of the question. So they're saying write an equation for the axis of symmetry. So write down axis of symmetry is d equals 3 plus 8.5 over 2. Okay, so you can jump straight to the calculator. And quick little calculator tip here. I don't know, it's just gone off the frame. Let me see if I can bring it back a little bit. There you go. There you go. Okay, and I don't know why is it showing out? I don't know how it's being recorded. There you go. I just turned that thing off. Quick little calculator tip. This is problem 1, page 1. And often I tell my students that, create, a new problem per question that you're solving. It becomes easy to check. And so how do we do that? We go to doc and insert a new problem. And it'll come up as 2.1 this time. That's problem number 2, page 1. Problem number 1, problem meaning question number 1. Okay, so in this page, I'm going to type in what the fraction that I'm looking for. So here we go. This is 3 plus 8.5, and the denominator is 2, right? And so when I hit enter, 5.75 is what I'm getting. So I jump back to my OneNote here, and I can see that the equation of the axis of symmetry should be d equals, what was that? 5.75. Now in an equation you should not mention the units, okay? Now this is not the distance, so I will leave it there. D equals 5.75. This is not the distance, as I said, it's the equation of the axis of symmetry. So I don't know. Okay, what is the next one? The quadratic function that models the dolphin's jump is, there you go, HD is negative 0.2 d square plus BD, where D is positive. Okay, so they define for only positive values of D. All right, remember the D is a horizontal distance, and you can see that it doesn't have a constant term. So let me write it down. Okay, so I have the horizontal. Sorry, that's the height, right? H of D. Yeah, height of D is given by, what's that equation? Negative 0.2 D square, negative 0.2 D square. And I have a plus D plus B times D, and they've said D's are positive. All right, what are they asking? B is a constant. Calculate the value of B. Calculate the value of B. Now, remember, this is what our quadratic is, and since there is no constant term, it means that there is no y-intercept. Okay, and it's clear that this is no y-intercept, so it's just about that point. So how are we going to do this? I said earlier, this is the equation of that line of symmetry, right? But we already found the line of symmetry, and that is something that you need to realize. Okay, the more you solve the IB question papers, you'll see that every question is connected to the one that you've done before. One of the very common terms that they use is hence show that, even when they ask you to solve. But not only do they ask the students to solve that way, but also the way the questions are worded, you can see the first part, they've asked you to find the equation of the axis of symmetry where you're not using this formula. We're not using this particular formula, x is equal to negative b over 2a, all right? Just using the idea of the midpoint, but also, testing, I think the IB is testing whether that the axis of symmetry is actually symmetric. That means, every 2 points on either side is like the midpoint, okay? It's like the midpoint, and that is the idea that being tested there. However, in part B, when you are, calculating the value of b, strange, b, you're actually going to use that. All right, you're going to use what you did earlier on. So that's a little tip to know that, if you're stuck somewhere, what am I supposed to do? Just keep that in mind. So you can say that, let's use the same language here. This is my A, all right? This is my A, and the B is there, okay? You know what I'm comparing with, right? I'm comparing this with y of x is equal to ax square plus a bx plus a c. I'm comparing it that. I'm just going step by step so that you understand. Again, which is why these videos tend to be too long, but I'm hoping to do more than one question in this video. Okay, let's see. All right, so what do we have? So I have A as a negative 0.2, and the B is the unknown. The B is the B, and this one is now, the equation of the axis of symmetry. We already found is D is equal to 5.75. So that means I can write it as 5 D equals the axis of symmetry is 5.75, which is negative b over 2a. So negative of b, what's going on? Why is my pencil not working? Negative b over 2 times negative 0.2. Okay, always, as I said in the earlier video, also show your substitution in every formula. Make sure that the values are clearly shown, because you are using your calculator throughout. So if you're just going to do everything there and you have nothing to show as working, this is what counts as working, even the substitution. All right, so what happens here now? So we can write this as, okay, negative b is then equal to 2 times a negative 0.2 times that 5.75, and of course you have negative values on either side which will cancel off, and then b equals, you can find the value. So let's just switch back to our calculator to do that calculation. This is 2 times and a negative, what is that, 0.2, and let's just close that bracket, multiply it again, and we have 5.75, I believe. Just let me hit enter. You got a negative value, but don't worry about that. Okay, don't. Okay, so that's a negative 2.3. So I'm just going to write down negative b equals negative 2.3, which means the value of b is simply 2.3, and it's a constant. Again, don't write units. Sometimes kids are just worried that everything needs to have a constant, and just because it's in meters, it's meters. B is a constant, and there's no units to that. Okay. All right, so that is part B. And what is part C now? Find the horizontal distance when the dolphin re-enters the water. Horizontal distance when the dolphin re-enters the water. What is going to happen when the dolphin is re-entering the water? Remember, the horizontal distance is here, starting from here, right? So if it's coming back into the water, it's being measured, as it says. See, all distances are measured in meters from the point where the dolphin leaves the water, from the surface of the water. So if it's going to come back, the distance must be 0. All right, the horizontal distance must be 0. No, sorry, the horizontal distance is what we're finding out, but the vertical distance, the height must be 0. Okay, sorry about that, but you get what I'm saying, right? Why I'm thinking like that, because h, I'm thinking horizontal, but h here is the vertical distance here. Okay, so h must become 0, and you're asking what is the horizontal distance when it's re-entering the water. So h must become 0. So we're going to use the same equation. Do I have space here to write? No. So remember the hint that I gave last time. When you run out of space, please ask for the extra sheets of paper, write it down, and make sure that you say continued on this thing. You can mention that, continued on the extra sheets, and on the extra sheets, make sure that you write down the exact question number, so that it becomes easier for the examiner to understand where it's going on. So question number 2C, we say h of d must be 0. H of d must be equal to 0. All right, and so and we found out the values right now. The b is found out, a was already given, so we can just put that thing down, and we are saying 0 must be equal to negative 0.2, negative 0.2 d square. You're solving for d, of course. You're finding the value of d plus a b, which we found out was 2.3, I think, times d. Is that right? 2.3 times d. There you go. Right now, you are not an AA student, so you don't have to spend too much time trying to solve this thing. You can just use your calculator directly. So that's what you're going to do. But if you are an AA student watching this video for whatever reason, I don't know, then obviously you have to do some more algebra before you jump in to your calculator usage. Okay, so I would say that this much if you show as an AI student, that's good enough. All right, so let's just jump to the calculator. And here, this is a CAS model. I'm sure the CAS, if you still use the CAS, it'll be turned off in the exam time. So I'm going to go to the algebra, and you can see a lot more than what's going to be shown in the exam mode. It's this one, not system, sorry. What am I doing? Polynomial tools. Find the roots of the polynomial. I'm just going to show that thing again. Okay, so on the number, this polynomial tools, and you're going to find the roots of the polynomial. This is what you're going to do. Okay, so quadratic has 2 roots, and you're looking at the real roots, and ax squared. It's given in terms of x, but don't worry, that's, you need to make some kind of connections here. A2, that's the coefficient of x squared, the d squared term here. It's a negative 0.2, negative 0.2. A1 is the coefficient of x in terms here, it's d, so that's the 2.3. And we don't have a constant term, so I'm just going to write it as 0. Now put that thing there, we can see that it gives me a syntax and I hit enter and it says two values, right? Quadratic is going to have two values. The first value is 0, the second value is 11.5. And we can come back and say, we're not going to write 0 obviously, because 0 would mean there's no horizontal distance, and that's the initial one, right? The initial one, no horizontal distance. This is the horizontal distance, okay? That is the first one, okay? The first one when the height was 0, the horizontal distance is 0. The second and the height is 0. Here, that value is 11.5. And here we need to write the units, okay? So here we can say using GDC or using my graphing calculator, I got the value of D as, pardon me, 11.5 meters. Okay, that is 12C. I think we're going out of time again. D, explain what a negative H value would mean in this context. In this context means this is where the interpretation comes from. You're looking at this dolphin jumping, and the moment you're going to get the value of H as negative, it literally means that the dolphin has gone below the surface of the water, because this one says it's leaves a water surface, right? Leaves a water surface. All distances are measured in meters from the point where the dolphin leaves the water. So leaves the water surface. It's jumping. So if you're going to get H as, like, basically because H is 0, entering the water again. So if it's negative, of course, the negative value of H suggests that the dolphin has gone below the water surface. So I'm going to write that thing down in my own words. If you have a better way to word that, please mention that in the comments, okay? Don't just write down in the comments, okay, which part and how would you have written that interpretation better, in a better way, okay? So I'm going to write it down in my own words. I'm going to write a negative H value indicates that the dolphin has entered the water, or is that the dolphin is under the surface of the water. Did I write this correctly? Just let me read it again. A negative H value indicates that the dolphin is under or below, can write that word down. It says below the surface of the water. Okay, so how are we doing at time now? Time. Oh my God! Again, I'm so sorry. Just one question I was able to solve, but I just went into as much detail as possible, explaining and giving tips here and there. That's all for this video, folks. We will have to continue this in some other video, but if you found something useful, please like, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. There are several other videos on my YouTube channel. Do check them out, and if there's any concept or question that you'd like explained, do mention that in the comments, and I'm going to make a video for you. I'll see you on the next one.